We continue our working day at Ukraine Crisis Media Center. Now the floor is given to Colonel Oleksandr Motuzyanyk, Ministry of Defense of Ukraine spokesperson on ATO-related issues. Welcome. Good afternoon, everyone. Now to your attention is the information about the events that happened in the anti-terror operation zone during the last 24 hours. During the last 24 hours, the situation in the anti-terror operation zone escalated, and in both sectors the enemy continued to use weaponry that is banned by the Minsk agreements. And in the region of Avdiivka, our positions were shelled with the use of tank. Now the information in more detail. The Lugansk sector, the enemy delivered 23 shellings of strong points of the armed forces of Ukraine, and the enemy used heavy mortars of 120 millimeter of caliber. The enemy opened fire in the region of Lugansk and Troitska, launching at our positions 17 mines. At about midnight, the enemy used 82 millimeter mortars against our positions near Zolote. Also, the enemy delivered precision fire at our positions in the regions of the settlements such as Zhovta, Zolote, Zaitsevo, Krymska, Luganska, Malinovo, Novgorodska, Novoluganska, Novoalexandrovka, and Troitska. The enemy used weaponry IFVs and grenade launchers of different types, large caliber machine guns and small arms. And in 9 instances, when enemy shellings posed direct danger to our servicemen, units of the armed forces of Ukraine returned fire with the use of mounted grenade launchers, small arms, and weaponry of IFVs. The Donetsk sector, the enemy violated ceasefire 15 times, and the enemy used prohibited by Minsk agreements 120 millimeter mortars near Shirokina, and also delivered 15 shots from tank near Avdiivka, and our positions came under enemy fire in the region of Avdiivka, Verkhnyataretsk, Lobedinsk, and Pavlopil. The enemy used 82 millimeter mortar. On the whole, the enemy launched at our positions 29 mines. Also, the enemy used grenade launchers, large caliber machine guns, and small arms, and delivered precision shelling at our positions near Avdiivka, Verkhnyataretsk, Vodyane, Marienka, Pavlopil, and Talakivka village. And in the region of Novotroitsk, for about an hour, the enemy delivered fire with the use of sniper weapon. In order to suppress the activity of the enemy, in the majority of cases, Ukrainian armed forces returned precision fire with the use of weapons that are not prohibited by the Minsk agreements. On the whole, during the last 24 hours, along the line of confrontation, Russian occupation forces delivered 38 shellings of our positions, and 22 times the Ukrainian servicemen returned fire. Unfortunately, in shelling of our position near Shirokina, in a result of explosion of 120 millimeter shell, 1 Ukrainian serviceman died and 1 more was wounded. Our hearts go out to the family and relatives of the servicemen who died for Ukraine. Also, in the region of Troitska, in shelling with the use of mounted grenade launcher and small arms of the enemy, 2 more servicemen were wounded, and 1 more serviceman was traumatized in action in shelling delivered by the enemy with the use of automated grenade launcher near our position in the region of Vodyane. All the wounded servicemen were promptly brought to medical institutions, where they are provided with all necessary medical assistance. According to information provided by main intelligence department of MOD, in units and small units of Russian occupation forces in temporarily occupied territories of Lugansk and Donetsk Oblast, there is an increase in the number of crimes. On the 2nd of December, in one of the units of so-called Second Army Corps, they started investigation of 17 violations committed by Russian servicemen. 4 criminals were taken into custody by the militants. President of Ukraine, Supreme Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Petro Poroshenko, initiated a large-scale project on construction of modern hostels for contract servicemen. Over the next 2 years, they plan to provide comfortable housing to 25,000 contract servicemen. This is all. Thank you. Do you have questions? Do you have questions, dear colleagues? If there are no, thank you.